I really like his mentality when it comes to success and failure. Like, no game is ever perfect, especially on the defense side of the ball, but he never rides the wave. So like, he's always, I think that's what you need out of your coach, is to ride just a constant plane. So, like we might have not the best play. We might have a great play, but it never changes, So I think that's the best part of Coach Lynn, and also just the way he approaches the game. He's young, so it's really easy to approach him and to talk to him. It's not like he's very experienced with his wisdom, but with his age, it's more approachable to talk to him. Which I think is really cool.
Coach Lynn talked about in the spring about how it was more important for him to go slow in terms of just what he gives you guys and get a few things right versus to throwing 100 things at you guys. He says that's also the plan for training camp. Just as a veteran guy, what's it like when the defense gets broken down and slowed and everything gets kind of slowed down into learnable pieces like that?
It's really helpful, especially coming in from a different system, learning a different scheme. I think learning something that at a slower pace is really helpful because, like I said, I was learning something new when I became so accustomed to something else at another school. I think coming in, and he uses the phrase, it's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. So I think getting quality over quantity is something that he values a lot. So, like I said, it's really important just for how many transfers we got on the defensive side of the ball, just to get engaged and get repetition after repetition. We probably got thousands of reps of the same plays over and over, which, I mean, shoot, that's all you need. Like I said, it's about quality, not quantity. So you can go into a game running the same play, and if it works, it works. So I think that's the mindset we're taking into it with doing the repetition.
It's about making sure, I guess, you're seeing the same thing that he's seeing. Is that just the film, is that practice that you check back and forth?
The cool thing about having a new staff is they're also open to communication with us. So it's not like they're stuck in their ways or something. So like if we see something and we communicate it to them, they actually receive the feedback and then they interpret it how they do as coaches. So I think it's cool in that aspect.
There's something from him early on. We hear a lot about how he's just a very good coach and a very good teacher. So there's something he did early on where that clicked for you. And
I think I learned something new about him every day. Like I said, he takes everything meticulously and really slow, which I think is, like I said, it helps in the long run. But one specific thing I can't really say. I think just the amount of times we went over each coverage, that's probably what I have to see.
Do you feel like the emphasis is on simplifying things so that you guys can play as fast as possible? Is that a fair characterization of the scheme you guys are running at this point?
Absolutely. The scheme, from an NFL standpoint, I think, with him having the knowledge he does, it seemed as though he was able to minimize it into something, like you said, very easy and precise, so that we can play as fast as possible, which I think
what's it been like picking it up relative to your previous college experience?
For me, it's easier because I think my wisdom and my knowledge of the game, because I've just matured, I got some more experience. I think when you come in as a freshman, it's really hard to pick up the game. Because in high school, it's like you think you know football, but at the end of the day, you're just running around making plays. So I feel when you get to college, with me this being my fourth year, I've learned a lot about football. I've learned about schemes, schematically. I've gotten smarter. So for me now, it's easier. It's also like my journey of maturation and just growing up. It's been a lot easier.
The scheme seems like it's set up for your position to just do a lot of downhill. Kind of have the guys up front set it up, and you guys clean it up. How accurate is that, and how much of a fit is that for just the player you think you are?
Yeah, the scheme is nice. I think every single piece works together. Like you said, the D-line handles their job, which frees us up. And I'm sure I don't want to go too deep in the scheme, but it's a good one. But leave it at that.
What is the culture that Easton Lynn is trying to build here, and where do you kind of fit in helping to get that culture on, not just in the locker room, but also the field?
The culture, I think, it's a lot different than what the media has portrayed it as. The negative connotation of the team is something that you see outside when you're in the locker room with the guys. And on the defensive side of the ball, especially with the new faces, it's a lot more connected than you think. And I think that's really what it is. Like I said, he rides the constant wave of just being level-headed, and he lets us control the emotions, which I think is the cool part. So, like, we're a player-led defense, and I think that's what he was trying to get.
And at spring practice, you were very vocal, and other teammates realized that you're very vocal. Has that always been something, as being a vocal leader, or was that something through your college years that you progressively got in?
I'd say my college career, I've gotten a little more. I like to lead by example, just through my hard work and stuff. But that only takes you so far, especially when you're supposed to be a guy on the team or a guy on the defense, especially as the Mike backer. You're supposed to be like, in my mind, I feel like if you're a Mike backer, you expect to be loud, you expect to be noisy, you have to be leading with your voice. So I think that's something I picked up more so in college, just by, like I said, when I got here, I didn't try to do that as much. I feel like it's kind of like the league. When you go somewhere new, you don't want to go somewhere and act like you're the guy, and like you're alpha dog, and nobody knows. So I came, like I said, I tried to lead by example, and then once I earned a little bit more trust from the guys, I think they were able to resonate more with what I said.
You guys, you weren't here last year, but Miller has said that going up against you this year, that the offense pays for almost every mistake it makes, and that's a big improvement. Have any of the returning guys expressed just how much better things are this year, or just how much more, have you seen them have more confidence?
Yeah, I can't speak on last year's situation just because I wasn't here, but the way that practice is structured, it's a lot of competition, and I think with the scheme we got now and how practice is ran, the guys have definitely seen it. I mean, shoot, if one of us makes a mistake, they're going to score, and if one of them makes a mistake, tackle for loss, sacks, and like I said, it's just back and forth. I've heard for sure from Miller especially that going against a brand new scheme is good preparation.
And Lincoln said he was confident that the tackling would be really solid this year. What's the difference between teams that tackle well and the ones that don't?
Tackling is all technique. It's your feet and your eyes. So your eyes, you gotta follow where your feet go. Your feet follow where your eyes go. Sorry, but I mean, yeah, you gotta. I think this year it's an emphasis for us. We're being a lot more physical in practice. I think that comes with the initiative of the mindset that the Big Ten is something that the West Coast team is not accustomed to. So I think in practice we emphasize like we're gonna hit, we're gonna tackle, and like I said, it's all technique. You just gotta your feet, your hands, your feet and your eyes. Sorry, just don't take your tackle. And it's all about your strike zone too. We focus on that. We're trying to get that instilled. That was something at Oregon State that we harped on a lot, and I think it's carried on from here. I'm trying to help instill that in some of the defenders as well. But like I said, man, it's just technique and also intent. Like if you want to tackle somebody, you're gonna tackle. It's that simple.
Who is Easton just off the field? You know, is it day to day? Like, what do you like to do?
Hobbies, man. I like video games. I like to go to the mall. I like to go to the beach. Being in Oregon, being away from home was not. There's no beaches around there, so I mean, I like to go to the beach, just chill, listen to the waves, maybe read a little book, maybe just kind of get into reading a little bit. But I mean, shoot, outside of football, there's not much to me. I like spending time with my family. But I really tried to engulf myself in this life. You only get one shot. So.
And obviously the new NCAA 25 game is out.
Oh, we'll be on that.
Are you beyond that?
For sure, I'll be on that.
What is it just like, you know, you being probably a kid and just imagining yourself being on a Madden game, now that it's reality with being on a college football game? What is it like to just be able to like play with yourself?
It's dope, man. Like to be able to play the game and use yourself in the game is crazy. Every chance I get, I'll use USC. Just knowing the guys that I'm playing with in school, but like you said, it's a dream come true, man. So like, because NCAA 14 is like one of my favorite games of all time, and to now be in a game that will like, the game will never be forgotten. You know what I mean? So like to be a part of it.
Did they get everything right in the game? The characters?
Low key, my guy does not look like me. But like it's cool. I'm not tripping.
How's your speed rated and all that looking?
I think my speed was at 85, which is cool. For base ratings, they got me at like an 80. I'm cool with it. I didn't touch 70s, but I'm not right. You know what I mean? Like we'll just see after season.
Are they gonna adjust them as the season goes, or is it like?
I'm pretty sure they go
Okay.
kind of like Madden, how like Ocho Cinco will do it. I think something like that. Yeah. So hopefully I'm up there after.
You think it is going to be more physical in the Big Ten, or do you think that's kind of just the media talking?
No, I don't. I mean, the media makes their narratives, but I don't think they're entirely wrong. Like the Big Ten is, you got to take into consideration the factors of weather. Like a lot of teams can't throw the ball. Like you saw, for example, in Oregon State, like Washington, Penix, they're an air raid team, but when you play in different conditions, like you gotta adjust. So I think maybe the Big Ten isn't more physical, but they're just more accustomed to the weather. Like you know what I mean? Like they're gonna run the ball. They're gonna get into 12. They're gonna get into 13. They're into 22, 23 personnel, and they're gonna run the ball because. I mean, no, don't get me wrong, they got pass, they got great quarterbacks as well, but I'm sure it's going to be a physical game just based on condition, based on coaches as well. Yeah.
The new helmet communication they have coming forward, the green dot guys, is that going to be obviously you at the linebacker position, and are you looking forward to that experience?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'm hoping so is me. I'm hoping I've done a good enough job to show Coach Lynn that I can get it. It is dope, like I said before, just having like the communication before anybody else does. Kind of like having like a little angel and devil on your shoulder, you know what I mean? Like you get to hear the good and the bad, like I said. Yeah, I think it's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna help me a lot with just communicating just the different parts besides just the play call to the rest of the defense. And it'll pay off for sure, man.
How much was on his plate at times last year as the defense. Now you coming in, kind of taking some of that, going to play more free. What have you sensed there? Next to him?
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about last year because I'm not sure. I don't know their situation, but coming in, I could tell that he seemed a little bit more uneasy with how much he had on his plate, being it's kind of like my situation where he came in from a school, had a really good year, and then with all this media pressure and all the hype of the team on him, like it's a lot on your shoulders for sure. Having another veteran guy next to him, I feel like will help him a lot. We're cool off the field, like I'm with him all the time. He showed me around LA, he showed me some good time, you know what I mean? Like we just chill together, you know what I mean? Just be in the same presence, you know. We call each other yin and yang. You know? Yeah, we balance each other out, yin and yang. So if he's up and I'm down, or vice versa, I feel like we build that connection with each other.
Talking to you, like, in terms of on-field, you know, I think you guys, like, from a distance, you guys are kind of similar profiles, like, you're both kind of leaders and that sort of thing, but from very finitely, like, what do you think your strengths are to complement his? Like, why do you think this combination is going to work if you two kind of play next to each other?
I think both of our IQs of the game is what's going to complement each other because it's really hard to play with somebody if you don't entirely trust in their capabilities mentally. Physically, everybody here is good, so it's more about the mental part. So I think him knowing, like, I'm going to get the defense to call, he can worry about his assignments, and then once all that's done, we can look at each other and be like, yo, watch out for this, watch out for this. So I think that's the biggest part, that we'll complement each other. We can play fast and smart together.
So you guys are pretty competitive, you know, sled runs,
all the time.
that sort of thing.
I think Coach Wiley posted a video. I got him on it. I got him on the video. He got me on one of them, but every day we're competing, whether it's lifting more weights, who's running faster, who's getting more picks, like it's every day we're competing. And I think that's making us good.
I feel like you guys are sort of like-minded in that way, in terms of how you just kind of approach the leadership a little bit.
Yeah, we're kind of like brothers in a sense, like how me and Akili will compete. I think Calvin and I have also acquired that kind of bond to each other.
That was just an instantaneous thing for you.
Not instantaneous. I think once we got closer, it's like, all right, well, like, team trip out. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we're at now.
How was the off-season regimen?
It's been dope, man. I feel like this is the strongest I've ever been. I've been dealing with injuries, not necessarily injuries, but like my hands. I didn't have my hands in off-season, so I wasn't able to lift as much. But as of right now, knock on wood, I've been all good, man. Like I feel great, lifting heavy, lifting a lot, still maintaining my speed. And Coach Wiley, shout out to Coach Wiley, Miss Rachel, nutritionist. She's been downing up some good meal plans. Coach Wiley's been getting us right every day. So yeah, I mean, that's for sure.
You mentioned first time you came into this spring podcast, you sense that there is an opportunity for a guy to come in and kind of keep remotely help you. Looking a few months in now, you know, do you feel comfortable in that role? You've been able to take that on. How's that going for you?
I think so. I think for me, growing up, there was only one way of being taught, and that was yelling in your face. You know, like when I was like 6 years old, my coach was yelling in my face. So like it's hard for me to adjust to like coaching people differently. So I feel like with me coming in and being loud, and I mean, sometimes I do be me. You know, I'll be an asshole sometimes. Excuse my language, but I mean, it is what it is. It's football. But for me, I feel like that's the best way that I learn. Yeah, some guys don't reciprocate energy the same way, but I feel like me being that one guy, other guys on the team have led differently. And like for instance, a DB can talk to another DB more friendly and more understandably than I might. Like, you know, I might yell at somebody, and then I might take it away. But then another leader will be like, yo, like, use your screen, like, something like that.
It strikes me, you guys and Easton seem to have a similar demeanor sometimes, and
What are you
like
saying?
you
We're the
won't,
same person.
you guys won't like, you won't mince words, like if there aren't words to be minced. Like, how does that, how do your guys' kind of leadership styles overlap? You know, combine? Do you guys have to like, take the pressure off it sometimes? Like when you're talking to the linebacker, how does that go for it?
No, actually, the linebacker group is a little different because those are the warriors you're going to battle with. Like, you see them every single day. But I feel like Cobb and I grew up the same way. Like, there's only one way that we knew how to get coached, and that's kind of what we're doing now. Like I said, we're like the same person. Like, everything that he does, I do, and vice versa.
And are there any ways in which you guys are different when it comes to
Yeah. In terms of leading,
or even just in general?
just in general, yeah, I feel like we're the same person, but like we're not. You know what I mean? Like, that's just over exaggeration. But not like leadership. I might go a little extra. He might wind it back and like, but I sometimes I might lose it, but. Yeah, I don't know, man.
You compliment each other.
Compliment each other, yeah. Like I said, if I'm up and he's down, or he levels me out.
How's Coach Ends in terms of leadership? It seems like another guy will yell at you if needed. Like how does that all come
Coach Ends, he's dope because he has that head coach mentality. So like he approaches everything differently. He doesn't look at just small picture; it's a big picture everything. And I think that's a cool adjustment for him. I'd rather my coach come from such a high position to lower and have to like gear down than have to be like, coach, like what's wrong? Like, he never has an off day. He's always really happy. He'll push you for sure every day, which is good, what you want out of your coach. But his knowledge and just the way he approaches stuff, it only helps us. And like I said, the whole defensive staff is really harped on us being like player-led. So he lets us handle a lot of the leadership stuff, which we do. I think our linebacker group is really, really close, and he senses that. So he'll get on us if he needs to, but he knows that we'll handle all the issues.
How much was part of the appeal of coming here, having this potential leadership position, and how long did it take for you to get comfortable being, like you said, kind of a strong leader and a voice?
Coming here was pretty easy choice. Like I seen the trend on my visit with Akili. We seen the trend of the team. We seen the culture that they had, and we liked it. So that's kind of why we decided to come here. And I didn't want to come in on being too loud and too noisy, especially when nobody knew who I was on the team. So like when I got here, I tried to lead by example. I tried to work as hard as I possibly could to prove to the guys and build some trust with them. And I think I did that. And so like now they're a little bit more trusting in me and they listen to what I say. And I listen to them as well. It's not like I'm putting myself above anybody. Like whatever I have to say and whatever they have to say, it's all taken the same way.
Is there a sense of being a little bit emboldened by how last year went? I know you weren't here, but in terms of trying to improve upon that and trying to really, kind of prove, I guess, that notion wrong about the defense?
I don't even think last year was like people want to call it what it is. It wasn't the best season, but what a lot of people don't understand is like there's a lot of growth and failure. Not saying that last year was anything like that, but like even for me at Oregon State, like the goal every year is to win. We didn't do that, but does that mean the whole season was? Like I feel like last year was for both teams we didn't get what we wanted. But now that builds our identity and makes us a little stronger. So for me, I just feel like I'm another piece to help build that. And together we're working cohesively to try and win the championship like everybody else.
There's a lot of change, on this defense. I mean, staff. Like, what at the end of the day is the expectation of this defense, like the tangible outcome that you guys hope and expect to have for yourself?
Well, Coach Lynn, I mean, you've seen what he did in 1 year at UCLA, made them one of the best defenses in the country. And so for me, I expect nothing less. I don't think anybody else on the team would say that either. So I think we have the potential, I don't like using that word, but we have the potential to be, we could be one of the best. But like I said, the future, whatever happens, happens. God always has a plan, so I don't want to put anything into the future. We're always trying to focus on every day. We're not nowhere near where we need to be, so I don't want to think too good. But the standard is always a standard. Go out there to dominate, go out there.
Now that you've been with Coach Lynn for a while, can you sense why he was able to turn UCLA's defense over in that one year? Like, anything that stood out about the process here?
Absolutely. It's just the way he's able to call plays. Like, I think every coach has, and there's only so many things you can do as a coach, but I think the way that a coach can be considered a good coach or a good play caller is how they call the plays and where they go. And with Coach Lynn, like, he keeps it simple, which I think allows for defenses to play fast. But like, when he needs to get unique, he'll get unique. And like I said, it's all about when you call the plays. So he's really good with that. And that's why I think he's successful is that he knows exactly when to call the play, what play to call, and how it complements the skill set that the players have.
Coach Hutz was talking about how the emphasis with him and with coaching is on teaching concepts, focusing on the basics and building from there. How is that different maybe than you've learned from guys in the past, or how has that been effective for you?
What's good is my previous coach, Coach Bray, when he took over, he kind of taught the same way. Like, he wanted to dial in our main fundamentals, our main basics, try to work on those and get those perfected every single day, like I said. And that's kind of the same here. We've got thousands of reps at each of our base calls, each of our main calls, and I think that's going to carry on this season, and it will show that we play extremely fast. It'll look like, like what we practice.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Good luck.